has no intentions of following through with those promises.
If you do this, you are going to lose your children.
Take the win.
Or what?
Jack is not the threat. Valentin is.
So what do you want?
Everything you know about Jack Brennan.
General Hospital latest update. 62nd anniversary on April 1st will honor Leslie Charleson, Monica Quartermaine, with a hospital wing dedication, emotional flashbacks, and a heartfelt tribute. Meanwhile, Drew's press conference causes tension. Valentin gives Jason shocking intel, Nina digs for dirt, and Christina explodes at Ava. Plus, Carly receives a chilling warning. Don't miss the drama! Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital's 62nd anniversary episode honors Leslie Charleson, Monica Quartermaine April 1st tribute. General Hospital spoilers reveal that the show's gearing up for its 62nd anniversary on April 1st, which will honor Leslie Charleson, Monica Quartermaine. A special tribute to Monica Quartermaine is coming up, so let's talk about what's in store. According to TV Guide, this episode was written before Leslie Charleson's demise back in January. The goal was to include Charleson in the on-screen festivities, but she sadly passed away before they could film this celebration. That means this April 1st episode will simply be about acknowledging the show's 62 years on the air and highlighting Charleson's contribution as Monica. Charleson's actual memorial episode is still in the works, but it'll air sometime down the road. For now, Monica will be honored in a different way since the hospital is about to name a new wing after her. Laura Collins, Jeannie Francis, will take the lead on the dedication of the new Dr. Monica Quartermaine cardiac wing, so she'll make a big speech and reflect on the doc's amazing career. There'll be some flashbacks that tie in with this dedication, so that should bring a real blast from the past for longtime General Hospital fans. It's quite an accomplishment for the show to be on the air for over 6 decades, so every milestone like this deserves to be properly acknowledged. Of course, Leslie Charleson deserves this acknowledgement as well. Although it's sad to know Charleson won't be part of the fun like the powers that be intended, her legacy as Monica will live on, especially now that General Hospital is making her cardiac wing official. As for Jeannie Francis, she was excited to help deliver this moving tribute. Francis got her start on General Hospital back in 1977, which was the same year as Charleson. She was a real pillar of this show and of that hospital, which is a lovely thing, Francis said when interviewed about the event. I'm glad they did this in her honor. I think it's beautiful. Again, this won't be Charleson's memorial episode since that's still in the works and will come much later. We'll be sure to bring you updates once more news emerges about Monica's eventual demise and funeral. For now, General Hospital spoilers say Laura's speech will bring some reminders of the past as well as some predictions about General Hospital's future, so stay tuned for the cardiac wing dedication. Today's next update. Valentin provides Jason with information on Brennan, and Nina digs for dirt on Drew. Today on General Hospital, Laura faces a new threat from a city councilman. Drew holds his press conference and Portia reads through Drew's medical file. Kai and Trina arrive at the hospital. Kai is out of his sling and admits he's nervous about this press conference and he doesn't want to disappoint Drew. She tells him he'll be amazing and not to worry about Drew. Jordan and Curtis arrive, and Jordan still can't believe Curtis is giving Drew coverage. Curtis tells Jordan he's going to let Drew think he's won. Jordan says Drew isn't going to stop hating him or blaming him for what he's lost. Curtis knows, and one day soon Drew's inflated ego will lead him to make a big mistake and cross a line. Drew drives everyone crazy. In Portia's office, Drew gives her pointers on introducing him and reminds her that this is about the kids today. Portia tells him that she's done everything he's wanted, so take the win. He reminds her that he's the one keeping her from paying for the crimes she committed, so stop treating him as an enemy and start treating him as a friend. He leaves, and Portia looks at a file on Drew. Kai and Trina meet with Jordan and Curtis, and Drew soon arrives. Jordan goes to check on Portia while Drew gives Kai a pep talk. Drew asks Kai about his plans for the future and tells him to consider using his natural charisma as a way to get into politics. Meanwhile, Trina tells Curtis that Kai has faith in Drew, and they know he can't be trusted. She feels she should have warned him. Councilman Ezra Boyle appears and says hello to Drew, noting that this will be a great day for Port Charles. When Curtis sees them together, he tells Trina he knows just what to do about Drew. Curtis approaches Drew, Ezra, and Kai and asks to borrow Kai. They step away, and Ezra tells Drew he chose wisely picking Kai as a spokesperson, and it's a shame what happened with the Esplanade. Ezra blames Laura's attachment to Sonny for being the reason why they couldn't relocate it. Curtis warns Kai that Drew is not who he thinks he is. Drew will promise him anything to get what he wants, and he won't honor the promises. He asks Kai to be careful. Curtis says this sports initiative with the hospital is a good thing, and not to let Drew get in the way of that for him. Jordan stops by to see Portia in her office, and the doctor is still reading a file on Drew. Jordan admits she's shocked Portia hasn't given this press conference task to Terry, but Portia says this is good for the hospital and she and Curtis are in agreement about her doing this. Portia and Jordan head to the place for the press conference. Portia spots Curtis with Kai and asks Trina what's going on with them. Trina says Curtis is giving him a heads up on Drew. Press conference happens off-screen. Drew tells Kai he was great and Curtis tells Trina her guy Kai is something. Meanwhile, Ezra is gushing to Portia about how great this is going to be for Port Charles and the hospital. Lucas lectures Carly. In her room, Carly has a nightmare about the poisoning and wakes up calling Jack's name. Lucas stands in the door and says, "No such luck, it's just me, your baby brother." Lucas lays into Carly for not listening to everyone who has told her to stay away from Brennan. Carly tells him Jack isn't at fault, that Valentin is. Carly says she heard it all from Felicia last night. She says Jack is a gorgeous man who was interested in her, and she wanted to see where it would go. She says it was going great until it wasn't. Lucas wants to see her happy, but tells her to date someone who won't get her killed, like a dentist. He tells Carly that dating Brennan isn't good for her or her health, and he is one of a long list of people who depend on her and need her around. Willow's made up her mind. At Drew's house, Willow tells Nina that she and Drew talked things through, and there is no reason she shouldn't move in here. Willow says she knows what she's doing and she needs Nina to trust her. Willow explains she is going to reach out to Michael and tell there is no knowing when he'll be home, so they can't live in limbo. Nina again argues that if she moves in with Drew, she will lose her children. Nina says Michael has gone through a life-changing incident, and he's not going to come out of it thinking the world is beautiful. Willow still doesn't think Michael will launch a custody battle, and Drew would never let him take the kids from her. She has to get to Wiley's school for a conference but insists they will be happy here and everything will be fine. Christina lashes out at Ava again. At Alexis' office, Christina brings her mom coffee and can see something is wrong. Alexis says it's Valentin. He wants her to represent him and he wants to be released. That's something she can't do, given he accidentally poisoned Carly, who wasn't his intended victim. Christina asks if he doesn't have a lawyer. Alexis says he does, but Martin is a whole other story. Suddenly, Ava shows up wanting to talk to Alexis, only to see Christina is there. Ava says she'll come back, but Alexis asks her what she wants. Ava explains this is a legal matter. She asks to speak privately, but Christina says no, and Alexis notes Ava is not her client. Ava brings up her divorce settlement, and if Alexis could arrange a loan from the estate, she'd be happy to pay it back with interest. Christina screams, "There is no way in hell my mother is giving a dime to the woman who killed her grandchild." Ava again states it was an accident, and Christina tripped over luggage. She tells Alexis she wouldn't be here if this wasn't her last option, and the IRS will seize her properties if she can't pay her back taxes. Alexis tells Ava she has to say no for her daughter's sake. Ava warns her that fueling Christina's delusions isn't doing her any good. Christina isn't being rational, and Alexis knows it. Ava storms out. Jason gets answers. The PCPD, Jason meets with Valentin, who wants to know what Morgan wants. Jason wants Valentin to tell him everything he knows about Jack Brennan. Valentin has known Jack for 20 years, and he's never seen him scared until last night. He will give him leverage on Jack, but he'll need Jason to break him out. Jason says that won't happen, but he will owe him a favor in the future. That's all he can offer. Valentin accepts Jason's offer. He tells him that Brennan is a company man, and even though he's in Port Charles and a lowly station chief, it doesn't mean he's still not the head of the WSB. Valentin suggests being here as a cover as he has a lot of blood on his hands and there are plenty of people who want him dead. All Jack cared about was the WSB until now. Last night, Jack tried to kill him not for the WSB, but for what happened to Carly. Jason thanks him for the intel, but Valentin warns him Jack always gets what he wants, and right now, that is Carly. He says Jack isn't above using the WSB to get her either unless Jason intervenes. Jason knows that would suit Valentin's needs. Valentin tells him to think about Carly, who would finally be safe. Later, Alexis arrives to see Valentin, assuming he needs her to represent him. Valentin tells Alexis she's a brilliant lawyer, but not even she can save him. Alexis asks why she's here then. Valentin has something else he needs her to do. Lucky lends a hand. At her place, Lucky surprises Liz with donuts from Eckhart's. Lucky knows they had plans last night, so why didn't she wake him up when he fell asleep on her couch? She jokes you should never wake a patient. Lucky says his neck is a little messed up from her couch. She massages it and suggests he sleep upstairs next time. Lucky is glad to hear there will be a next time, and he's glad she knows what he feels for her is real and that it won't change. Liz feels the same and they kiss. Liz has to get to work, and Lucky offers to stick around and try to fix her freezer. Liz heads out and Lucky gets a text from Christina who says she needs to see him now. Christina soon arrives, having lost her key to Charlie's back door. Lucky lends her his and can see something is going on with her. Christina confides in Lucky that her dad is having heart problems and has to have surgery, which is why he settled the custody battle with Ava. It was to avoid the stress. Now, it turns out Ava can't afford to take care of her daughter, and she doesn't deserve to have her daughter. Ava still hasn't paid for taking her daughter from her. Lucky tells her there isn't much she can do about Ava, and perhaps she should think what her daughter would want. Would she want her to be consumed with hatred or to find peace? Christina says she's trying to let it go, but she can't. More drama at the hospital. Back at the hospital, Liz asks Lucas to tell her about Miami. Lucas tells her about Marco, who may be the man of his dreams. Unfortunately, he got so drunk that he got sick all over him. However, Marco lives in Miami, so he probably will never see him again. Liz jokes, if only there was a way to communicate and travel long distances. She also gives him a message that his aunt has been looking for him. Portia returns to her office and resumes reading the file on Drew. Ava shows up to check on Portia after catching the end of the press conference. Portia says it was awful watching Drew parade Kai out in front of those reporters, and she had to sit back and let Drew use him to restore his good name. Ava knows she can't say anything because Drew has her right where he wants her. Portia notes, or so he thinks. Ava warns her to be careful, as she could lose everything, and Trina would blame herself for her mother's test tampering. Drew then appears and tells Portia thank you, and he couldn't have done it without her. Drew leaves, and Ava notes he seems chipper. Camera pans to Drew's file on Portia's desk. Trina tells Kai he was wonderful in the conference. Kai says her dad warned him about Drew and told him to watch his back. Trina says from what she just saw, he could be running for office someday. They kiss. Ezra tells Jordan it was nice to see her here today, but really the mayor should have been here. He notes Laura seems to be happy to let her deputy mayor do all her work lately. Curtis interrupts to speak with Jordan, and Ezra takes off. Jordan thanks him for saving her from that sleaze and says he really has it out for Laura. Jason shows up at Carly's room and asks how she's feeling. She says Lucas just left and is not happy with her, so she doesn't want a lecture on Jack from him. Jason tells her there is no lecture. She and Brennan are done. He warns her she can't go near him again, and her life depends on it. Back at Drew's house, Nina uses a spare key from Willow to let herself in. She heads to the safe to look through it. She finds a wad of cash and begins looking through files. On the next General Hospital, Liz questions Lucas and says if something is wrong, she needs to know about it. Willow tells Nina, "Whatever you say, I'm not going to believe it." Brennan has a warning for Joss. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.